guys, today we're going to react to an old Game Theory video called Sauce, Cheese, and Revenge Pizza Tower mod. So that's what guys we're going to do. Now this is my first react video since, actually I don't know how long it's been I reacted, so give me a sec. It's been, it's been like a year since I reacted to a video before. So now it's time to react my first react video of 2025. It's gonna be pretty cool. Oh yeah, by the way, if you guys like MatPat, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, because MatPat is awesome. Alright, let's watch.
Here we go. Pizza Tower. At first glance, this game looks like it has relatively little story. We're shown cutscenes at the beginning of the game that practically tell us everything that we need to know. It's the story of one man running around trying to save his struggling restaurant from an evil floating pizza that's threatening to blast his business with a laser. It is a thin plot that merely serves as an excuse to kick off the action. But oh no, friends, this game is so much deeper than that. Hidden in the background, the developers have put a whole history here. A history of betrayal,
noise and vigilante,
of cloning. And if you follow their clues, you'll see that our heroic chef may just have been the true villain.
Oh no, don't do that crap, MatPat. You always do this crap. Why do you always do that bull crap?
Welcome.
Guys, I'm pausing it. First positive video. MatPat always says that I'm a villain. Now everyone else thinks I'm a villain as well. Anyways, you better not pull up the whole, oh no, the hero's the who villain. And don't tell me Bowser is redeemable. Bowser is an evil monster. Alright, let me unpause it.
To game theory. Better evidence, better theories, game theory. I
hope
you're hungry, loyal theorists, because today we're serving up a slice of piping hot lore courtesy of Pizza Tower, the intensely viral indie smash hit that released back in January. I might be a little late to the party on this one, huh? If I were the pizza delivery guy, this one would have to be free. Now, for those of you who weren't keeping up with it during its development, Pizza Tower is a frantic action platformer in the style of the Wario franchise.
Oh, that's cool.
One of a handful of Wario-likes that's been cropping up over the past few years, like Anton Blast and Treasure Techland. Basically, the game's developer McPig saw that Nintendo hadn't made a new Wario Land in over a decade and said, fine, I'll do it myself.
Mamma mia.
Absolute garbage. Anyway, 5 years and a whole lot of
it's not that bad. I agree with that. It's not that bad. I put the volume up a little, so it's good.
With Pizza Tower becoming one of the highest rated Steam games of the year mere hours after its release. People immediately fell in love with its blistering fast gameplay, the Ren and Stimpy art style, the absolute absurdity of these characters and their world. And of course, like any good indie game, there's a heaping helping of hidden lore in the secret lore that is very easy to overlook when the vast majority of the gameplay has you running through levels at absolute top speed. But let me tell you, not only is there lore in here, when you stop and pay attention to it, it actually turns everything that players have assumed about this game on its head. Our main character, Peppino, is much more than just a hapless pizzeria owner trying to save his struggling restaurant. He's a man who brought all of this on himself. And our actions through the game are just perpetuating a continued cycle of abuse and violence.
Absolutely,
that's right,
I can see that.
It is a classic game theory. The hero may just have been the villain all along.
Of course.
Are you all ready to get funky? Let's begin. For those of you who haven't played Pizza Tower yet, here's the basic plot. While lamenting his failed pizzeria, Peppino Spaghetti, yes, that is his real name, is visited by Pizza Face, a sentient floating pizza that's threatening to destroy Peppino's with a laser cannon. So to save his business, the naturally anxious Peppino goes on a rampage, running down anyone who gets in his way as he chases Pizza Face to the top of the titular Pizza Tower.
Basically.
Peppino runs at Mach speed, climbs walls like Spider-Man on caffeine, and beats the ever-loving snot out of any sentient pizza that just so happens to cross his path. Rest in peace there,
Snotty. Oh no, Snotty, no man, don't make me cry.
A living stone slab that Pizza Face cloned repeatedly and then placed in each level to keep the portals of the tower open permanently. Knocking him down triggers a countdown sequence a la Wario Land 4, or a final Metroid-style escape, where Peppino must get back to the beginning of the level as fast as possible before Pizza Face etches in. As you climb through the tower, you go through dozens of wacky places like a city of pigs, a farm beset by aliens, a literal war zone, and an abandoned pizzeria.
Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, come on! Get out!
I really want to play Five Nights at Freddy's, though.
Is there no rest? God,
if
Peppino manages to reach the top, he's finally able to confront Pizza Face, who, it's revealed, isn't actually a floating pizza monster, but rather some kind of mech secretly piloted by none other than Pizza Head. A guy with a pizza.
Oh yeah, spoilers by the way.
This game's name naming conventions are pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, it's an odd reveal because this is a character who's never shown up previously in the game and was never explicitly alluded to. As such, at first glance, it seems to be a twist villain just for the sake of having a twist villain.
Yeah,
and honestly, I'd be totally okay with that. This is a joke game where nothing is taken super seriously, so having a floating pizza head be replaced by an actual pizza man is the sort of ridiculous twist that would make a lot of sense here. But we are theorists. When we see a surprise final boss appear without any clear build-up, that's the sort of thing that sets off all kinds of alarms. If you stop and take a closer look at our true final boss here, everything about Pizza Head is pretty weird. For the big boss of the game, he never seems to take the final fight seriously. He starts the fight by handing Peppino a gun. He accidentally pulls out a dirty picture of himself.
Come on,
he shoots
man.
a machine gun at his own face instead of at Peppino. He is laughing the entire time. It's almost as if he's not trying to kill Peppino at all, just mess with him. If he wanted to kill Peppino, he could have just fired the laser at Peppino's pizza without warning instead of giving him a chance to stop it. Except the laser isn't anywhere to be found when Peppino gets to the top of the tower, nor could I find it in any other level. The only explanation is that there was never a laser in the first place, and that all of this was a trick to lure Peppino to the tower for some greater purpose. But why? Well, to understand that, we actually have to play through the game again. See, once you know to be on the lookout for Pizza Head, the signs are there from the very beginning of the game.
The
first enemy that you face in the tutorial is a cardboard cutout of Pizza Boy, a boy with the exact same face as Pizza Head. Notice the blushing cheeks, the big red nose, and of course, the large slice of pizza as a face.
Oh, geez, no wonder.
That Pizza Head might just be a grown-up version of Pizza Boy. We see later in the FNAF level that Pizza Boy is the main mascot for Pizza Boy Piz-Pizza, and that's not the only place that he shows up. World 4, the slum, has a Pizza Boy cutout crammed into a sewer pipe. This then leads to multiple cutouts that we can find littering the sewers throughout the level, as if all of this Pizza Boy merch was suddenly discarded all at once. Later in the game, when visiting the Pig City, you can see wanted posters at the beginning of the level, as well as at the beginning of the Vigilante's boss fight. Peppino is a wanted man with $1 million bounty on his head.
Ooh,
like
dang.
John Wick levels of bounty hanging over him. What did he do? Later in the Pig City level, Peppino gets arrested, and what do we find waiting for us in the cell? Lo and behold, another Pizza Boy cutout waiting there, acting almost like a calling card. Is he the one behind all of this? Could it be that he's the one putting up the wanted posters? And when Pig City eventually goes up in flames, graffiti of Pizza Boy's smiling face can be seen peeking out from between the buildings, like he's reveling in all this destruction. Finally, at the very end of the game, just as Peppino and friends are about to reach the exit of the crumbling tower, a horde of Pizza Boy cutouts appear in a last-ditch effort to slow them down, both bookending the cutouts from the beginning of the tutorial, as well as signaling that Pizza Boy himself is the thing trying to keep Peppino from escaping. Pizza Boy is always there. He is always watching. He is always impeding Peppino's progress. He even reacts to how well you're doing in the game. When you first boot up the game, a Pizza Boy face is used to measure your current completion percentage. He begins happy when you're at 0%, but he starts getting sad when he sees that you've made some progress. Bit by bit, he gets angrier and angrier, quickly losing all resemblance to Pizza Boy, and instead gaining the appearance of Pizza Head. Turn into a skeleton at the end? If Pizza Boy were a distinct entity, it wouldn't make sense for him to be worked up by Peppino's success. But if he's really Pizza Head, then of course he's getting mad, because you're getting closer.
Yeah, doesn't he turn to a skeleton at the end? Because I remember pulling an image. Yeah, there is. Because he killed him. So technically, by the end of the game, we would have to kill them by the end. So yeah, this connection actually kind of support this theory.
And closer to foiling his plot, which then begs the question, what's the plot? All these clues seem to suggest that Pizza Head was once the mascot and potential owner of Pizza Boy Piz-Pizza, but we still don't know what beef he has with Peppino. If he's just going after some competing pizza chef, why target someone whose business is already in the tank? Well, Pizza Head himself doesn't have any dialogue in the game to fill us in on his motives. There is one NPC who does. Pizza Granny. She is just like Pizza Face. She's a pizza, she's got a face. She appears in the hub world before each level to tell you things like how to use your taunt to parry projectiles.
Guys, what is Granny? Is Granny like a robot maybe? Or maybe it actually is his grandma. Or his mom. I don't know.
Or how it's unfortunate that your name is Peppino Spaghetti. Usually her dialogue is short and snappy. She's basically just there as a tutorial. But in one encounter in the Western District, she suddenly spouts off on this huge rant.
Oh yeah,
all off, and it's hard to parse what exactly she's trying to say, but one nugget of information stands out among all the rest. Quote, in the upper part of the tower, there's this Pizza Face character. Then there's a man from your previous life leading the way. Since Pizza Head's the only one up there, it's not much of a stretch to figure out that he's the man from Peppino's past. But again, I ask, what is their actual backstory here? Why is Pizza Head out for revenge? Well, it all comes back around, as it so often does, to FNAF. Specifically, the FNAF level I keep
right.
mentioning, Don't Make a Sound. It's the second to last level of the game, which already places it in an important position. But what's really interesting about this one are all the lore clues that are sprinkled throughout the various background environments. The first thing to notice is the poster that clearly indicates Piz-Pizza is going bankrupt, which could explain why all the Pizza Boy cutouts were thrown down into the sewers throughout the slums map. So we know for a fact that Pizza Head's restaurant hit on hard times. We can also see in the storage room of the pizzeria that the dead body of a safety inspector is hanging from the ceiling, trapped by one of the many dangerous toys that are hidden away in boxes. That might be one good reason the restaurant hit on such hard financial times. Nothing says fallen profits quite like having a series.
What? Alright, let me put it back a little. Pizza spray, Johnny eats pizza, microwave pizza, cheese clad bad fortune cookies, real toy shotgun. That's not probably good. Mr. Punchy, T fights back, do not punch Mr. Punchy, management. P-made balloon. No wonder this guy died. Look at all the dangerous toys. These toys suck.
Series of murders happening in your back rooms. Ain't that right, Willie? But it's the series of posters here that I really want to examine. The first one shows us that the game's third boss, the Noise, used to be a mascot of Piz-Pizza. Now, for a bit of context here, the Noise is a parody of Domino's mascot, the Noid, a character who's notorious for being one of the worst restaurant mascots in all of history. We actually recently did a food theory all about him and how he single-handedly caused a hostage situation at restaurants. So if you haven't seen that video or aren't familiar with the character, check that one out after you're done here. But based on the photos that we see around the level, the Noise was a key part of Piz-Pizza's marketing strategy, and apparently he wasn't the only one. Over here, on some of the other posters, you can see a stretchy cheese slime.
The amazing
structure. Now, cheese slimes are a common enemy throughout the game,
guys,
so this
I'm
gonna
spoil a future video, but there's gonna be
But I don't think that right there is just any character. I suspect that slime, just like the Noise, is also a boss in the tower. Specifically, the boss of floor 2, the Vigilante. For proof, look at the eyes. Notice the pupils of the normal cheese slime versus the pupils of the Vigilante. The Vigilante has pinprick pupils, as opposed to the common enemies, which have more oblong pupils. Now look at the slime that's used in this poster. Pinprick eyes. Eyes that match the Vigilante. So we have ourselves the second floor boss being a former mascot of the brand. The third floor boss being a former mascot of the brand.
What about the first floor? What about Pepperman?
Being Pizza Boy, the main face of the company.
What about the fourth floor?
I don't know about you, but I'm noticing a pattern here. And that pattern only continues as we look at more details in the level. You see, as we run through the remains of Piz-Pizza, there are other familiar faces that start popping up. For instance, Peppino's chef friend Gustavo appears here multiple times.
He's in arcade.
First as a Gustavo marionette guiding us forward, but also as a character in an arcade cabinet. Why would he be here of all places? Why would there be merch and spin-off titles dedicated to him unless he also worked at Piz-Pizza at some point? But even more suspicious, Peppino himself used to work at Piz-Pizza as a mascot. Throughout the level, we see various arcade cabinets starring Peppino. Pizza Tower Defense, Pizza Tower Golf. But if there was any doubt, there's one poster that's hidden just out of view that shows Peppino chasing after the pizza gremlins Noise and Noisette. In other words, Peppino used to be a mascot of Piz-Pizza too. Every single one of these characters used to be a part of the Piz-Pizza brand. They were all mascots or marketing characters or involved in the business in some way. They all have a shared history, with Pizza Head as the literal and figurative head of it all. But it seems like at some point, Peppino broke off from the others to make his own pizza business. I suspect that somehow, some way, that decision killed Piz-Pizza. Hence why we see the company going bankrupt. Why do I think this? Well, in one of the other posters, we see Pacino, the Italian chef, an animatronic-like character that looks exactly like Peppino. And not only does he look like Peppino, if you get jump scared by one of the monsters in this level, you'll respawn as Pacino. That right there shows you that you and Pacino are meant to be one and the same. I think this was Piz-Pizza trying to find a replacement for Peppino. When Peppino left to strike it out on his own, it left all the other characters high and dry. Suddenly, they were left with one of their star characters gone. So in a desperate bid to replace him, they tried puppets and robotics and marionettes, but none of them worked.
I think Gustavo left
they started getting really desperate. They started cloning Peppino. You see, once you reach the boss of the fourth floor, things in the game get real weird. If your theorist alarms weren't set off by anything else in this game, floor 4 should be putting them into high alert. It's here that we fight...
we fight Peppino.
Peppino himself. Yep, we are fighting
actually
ourselves, or more accurately, a twisted clone version of ourselves. He's taller, his eyes popping out, and oh yeah, there's also literally dozens of them all attacking at once. He'll even throw his head at us when things get desperate. But why is there a clone of our character running around? Well, we actually see the lab where these clones get made in the final level of the game, simply titled War. In this level, you literally fight your way across a war-torn landscape with fighter planes and bombs in the air. It is weird. So much so that it prompted the fans to come up with their very own game theories, mostly centering around the idea that Peppino is actually a war vet. Now, McPig, the game's creator, did come out and debunk that theory on Discord, but then they also made some tweets that would imply that the theories might be true, so it feels like that whole thing is up for debate. All that, though, is neither here nor there. What I want to focus on is the background of some of the screens in this level. In them, we see copies of Peppino floating around in stasis tubes. What's it mean? It means that he's being cloned. But why? Well, the clue is given to us back during that 4th floor boss fight. Look at the background and notice what it says in the window. Peppino's Pizza 2. And that's not all. At the end of the fight, there's an extended horror chase sequence. If you manage to survive, you emerge on the other side and are suddenly standing out front of an old defunct building named Bruno Pizza. They're rebranding failed abandoned pizzerias as Peppino's. It's Pizza Head trying to make his own Peppino franchise. They're creating Peppino clones to steal away his business. Not because it's particularly successful or anything like that, but as repayment for Peppino's betrayal when he first left the Piz-Pizza family. So taking all of these clues together, here's the final storyline that I've pieced together based on the clues hidden in the game. Piz-Pizza was a highly successful company that would regularly roll out new mascots for marketing purposes to build up hype. The Noise, Noisette, Gustavo, Cheese Slimes, but at the top of the heap there was Pizza Boy, the literal face of the company. The Pizza Tower is his family home, as evidenced by the portraits that hang in the game's opening hallway. But of them all, there was one mascot who would rise to challenge the popularity of Pizza Boy, Peppino. A chef character who would get haunted and trolled by the Noise twins. A beleaguered everyman who made some pretty darn good pizza. When he was first introduced, his popularity took off, and Piz-Pizza put him everywhere, including multiple spin-off arcade games. But eventually, Peppino wanted to move on, to strike it out on his own. He was popular enough, he could become his own solo act. This, to Pizza Head, a former child actor, was the ultimate betrayal. They were family. You don't just leave family. Desperate to replace him, Pizza Head and the rest of the crew created Peppino, an animatronic version of Peppino. It didn't work. Piz-Pizza started to struggle. Meanwhile, things were doing okay for Peppino. Not great, but he was making enough to get by. Piz-Pizza was still pulling in a lot of customers. It was his biggest competition. And so Peppino decided to play a little dirty. You see, because of the time that he spent working at the company, Peppino had one final ace up his sleeve. He knew the dangerous secrets that lurked in the back of Piz-Pizza, the failed and deadly products that Pizza Head had tried to sweep under the rug. So Peppino called for an emergency health and safety inspection of the restaurant, hoping to get his competition shut down once and for all. Then his pizza company would be the last one standing. It would finally be able to thrive. Was he betraying his former co-workers? Sure, but this was business after all.
That means
the thing is, this plan worked. In fact, it worked a little bit too well. The health inspector came, got caught up in one of the dangerous backroom toys, and died. Piz-Pizza wasn't just slapped on the wrist with a low health score, it was suddenly hit with massive fines for safety violations. News spread of the death that had happened at Piz-Pizza. This resulted in the business going bankrupt in a hurry, leaving all these characters like the Noise, the Vigilante, Noisette, all of them with no place to go except to linger on inside of Pizza Head's family tower, plotting some kind of revenge against the man who abandoned them and then sabotaged them. The Piz-Pizza crew came up with wilder and wilder stories until finally landing on cloning. They created dozens of alternate Peppinos. This was no longer about getting business back, this was about revenge. This was about taking his business down along with them. This was war, a mutually assured destruction. They would put the clones into shoddy copycat pizzerias in low-income areas of the neighborhood to hurt the Peppino brand, and it worked. Peppino's original restaurant was crushed by the debt, and so there they all were, miserable, destroyed together, which meant it was the perfect time for Pizza Head to give Peppino a visit, to lure Peppino back to the tower and reunite the Piz-Pizza family once again. To force Peppino to confront all these moments, these places, these characters from his past. And that is where the actual story of Pizza Tower begins, and where our story today ends. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna have a salad. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. And hey, if you want to learn more about the dark...
Guys, I learned a lot today. I mean, he kind of improvised it a little. Yeah, like about Peppino doing it by himself. But, yeah, this is very interesting. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you guys want me to react to more game theory, I heard he reacted. He had Doors. So yeah, I play a lot of Doors, kind of, even though I lose to it a lot. But no one cares about that, right? Oh yeah, the content update. No one cares about the content update, right? Anyways, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.